Hi everyone, I'm Sheriff Jim Fredericks, and I'm looking for your help to bring wanted persons to justice. The Sheriff's Office works hard to keep our community safe, and this is your chance to join me in locating people actively sought by law enforcement. So get ready, you're about to go around Anne Arundel County with me on the lookout.
Hello again, I'm Anne Arundel County Sheriff Jim Fredericks, and thank you for joining me for the July 2019 installment of On the Lookout. We continue to receive calls from you, the viewers, with great tips about wanted subjects. With your help, deputies have made several arrests of individuals who have been featured on this show. This show is packed full of wanted subjects from around Anne Arundel County. If you recognize a name or face, call our warrant tip line at 410-LOOKOUT or 410-566-5688. The number will appear at the bottom of the screen throughout the show. All right, let's take a trip around the county as we go on the lookout. All right, from our northern end of the county, we're starting with James Henry Fager. He's a 29-year-old Caucasian male, brown hair, brown eyes, 6 feet tall and 180 pounds. Fager's wanted for multiple counts related to drug and drug paraphernalia possession and drug distribution. Fager has an outstanding circuit court warrant issued May of 2018 for failing to comply with his pretrial release conditions stemming from his possession with the intent to distribute CDS charge. He also failed to appear on a district court case where he was charged with CDS possession. His last known address is number 9 3rd Avenue in Brooklyn. Our next subject is Deandra Holland. He's a 24-year-old African-American male, brown hair, brown eyes, 5'11", 250 pounds. Holland has a warrant for first-degree assault, second-degree assault, and reckless endangerment. Here's what happened. During February of 2019, officers responded to the area of 11th Avenue and Alley 17 in Brooklyn for a report of an assault. Upon arrival, officers found an unconscious male on the ground. During the course of their investigation, they learned that the male had been assaulted by multiple individuals. Through their investigation, officers were able to identify Holland as one of the aggressors. Holland's last known address is 3727 Brooklyn Avenue in Brooklyn. The next subject is John Anthony August. He's a 57-year-old Caucasian male, brown hair, green eyes, 5'7", 150 pounds. August has a warrant for violation of probation for theft between $10,000 and $100,000. During December of 2017, August was convicted of the theft charge, sentenced to 5 years of incarceration, and placed on 3 years of supervised probation. During May of 2018, Mr. August was released from incarceration and enrolled by his probation agent into a treatment program. In June of 18, Mr. August left the treatment facility without permission. His last known address is 5243 Wasena Avenue in Brooklyn. The next subject is Patricia Ann Barr. She's a 50-year-old Caucasian female, brown hair, blue eyes, 5'2", 115 pounds. Barr has 2 violation of probation warrants for first-degree burglary. Barr's last known address is 3570 Hanover Street, Apartment 2 in Baltimore. Up now is Yante Devon Green. He's a 21-year-old African-American male, black hair, brown eyes, 6 feet, 175 pounds. Mr. Green is wanted for first-degree burglary. During May of 2019, officers responded to an address in Severn for a residential burglary that had just occurred, in which a pair of sunglasses, a laptop computer, and other objects had been taken from the residence. The homeowner was able to identify several of the subjects he saw fleeing the property. A check through a police database showed Yante Green pawned a laptop of the same make that was taken from that residence. After viewing security footage from the pawn shop, Green was positively identified as the person who pawned the computer. Green's last known address is 140 West Meadow Road in Brooklyn. Our first wanted person in the eastern part of the county is Eugene Thomas Baldwin. He's a 39-year-old African-American male, black hair, brown eyes, 5'8", 175 pounds. Baldwin is wanted for violating probation on a circuit court indecent exposure charge and for failing to appear for driving a motor vehicle without required license and authorization. Baldwin violated the terms of his probation by failing to attend court-ordered meetings and a court-ordered treatment program related to that indecent exposure charge. He also failed to report his probation officer on multiple occasions and picked up a new charge of driving without a proper license and was also cited for possession of drug paraphernalia. His last known address was 61 Magathy Beach Road in Pasadena. The next subject is Megan Lauren Maskew. She's a 23-year-old Caucasian female, blonde hair, blue eyes, 5'9", 110 pounds. Maskew has 3 outstanding warrants: conspiracy to distribute CDS narcotics and CDS distribution of narcotics, and also failure to appear for CDS possession other than marijuana, and failure to appear for theft and theft scheme between $100 and $1,500. Maskew has been charged with conspiracy to distribute and distribution of cocaine and fentanyl heroin mix between April and October of 2018. She is also wanted on 2 district court warrants for drug and theft charges. Maskew's last known address is 7912 Sutherland Court in Pasadena. Our next subject is Raymond W. Watts. He's a 39-year-old Caucasian male, blonde hair, blue eyes, 6'3", 250 pounds. Watts is what we call a frequent flyer, as he has repeatedly and often acquired multiple warrants. To date, he has 12 open warrants. Watts is currently wanted for violation of probation on a theft conviction. He also has several open warrants for theft from multiple establishments. Watts' last known address is 8007 Cameron Place, apartment 103 in Pasadena. The next subject is Paige Ashlyn Rogers. She's a 19-year-old Caucasian female, blonde hair, blue eyes, 5'2", 112 pounds. Rogers has 2 open warrants for second-degree assault. In the first case, police were called to the residence she shared with her mother for a report of a family violence. There was a verbal argument between Rogers and her mother, which turned physical when she began punching her mother repeatedly in the face. In the second case, police responded to an address in Millersville for a report of domestic violence. Upon arrival, police spoke with Rogers' ex-boyfriend, who reported that he and Rogers had been in an argument, during which she punched him with a closed fist in his eye. Rogers' last known address is 3614 Dorshire Court in Pasadena. Our next subject is Christopher Allen Forsyth. He's a 46-year-old Caucasian male, brown hair, brown eyes, 5'7" and 170 pounds. Forsyth is wanted for failure to register as a sex offender and for violating the terms of his probation for failing to register as a sex offender. On March 22nd of 2019, Forsyth was released from incarceration with instructions to register as a sex offender by March 27th and to report to the Parole and Probation Office within 24 hours. He failed to complete those simple tasks, landing him on our list of wanted subjects. Forsyth's last known address is 8213 Elvaton Drive in Pasadena. Out of the Southern District, our first subject is Gavino Rodriguez Guzman. He's a 26-year-old Hispanic male, black hair, brown eyes, 5'6", 130 pounds. Rodriguez Guzman is wanted for second-degree rape and for violation of probation on his armed robbery conviction. The backstory is that during April of 2019, County Police initiated an investigation for a sexual assault which occurred between November of 2014 and January of 2016. As a result of their investigation and consultation with the state's attorney's office, an arrest warrant for second-degree rape was issued for Rodriguez Guzman. During May of 2016, this wanted subject was convicted of armed robbery and sentenced to 1 year of incarceration at the county detention center. Upon his release, he was placed on supervised probation for 1 year. He failed to report to parole and probation after his release. Rodriguez Guzman's last known address is 26 Jaguar Drive in Lothian. The next subject is Norman Frank Gross Jr. He's a 31-year-old African-American male, black hair, brown eyes, 5'9", 140 pounds. Mr. Gross Jr. is wanted for violation of probation on his fourth-degree sex offense conviction. During November of 2015, Gross was placed into the Pretrial Services Supervision Unit. As part of the conditions of being placed in the unit, Gross was to remain drug-free and to maintain office visits. But between November of 2015 and January of 2016, Gross tested positive 3 times for THC and PCP. During the same time frame, Gross failed to report on 5 consecutive parole and probation office visits. Gross's last known address is 1404 Tyler Avenue in Annapolis. Our next wanted person is David Elliott Klemenko. He's a 31-year-old Caucasian male, black hair, brown eyes, 5'10", 162 pounds. Klemenko is wanted for violating probation on his third-degree sex offense case, for failing to register as a sex offender, and for possession of CDS other than marijuana. During March of 2016, Klemenko was convicted of third-degree sex offense and sentenced to 2 years in jail. He was also placed on 2 years of supervised probation. Part of the conditions of the probation were for Klemenko to report for a weekly office visit, to register with the Maryland Sex Offender Registry, and to wear a GPS electronic device. As of April 2016, Klemenko has not reported as directed, nor has he registered with the Maryland Sex Offender Registry. Upon reviewing the records for the GPS device, it was discovered the device had been removed on April 6th of 2016. Klemenko's last known address is 14 Old South River Road in Edgewater. The next subject is Ryan James Watson. He's a 29-year-old Caucasian male, brown hair, hazel eyes, 6'3" and 150 pounds. Watson is wanted for attempted first-degree murder, attempted second-degree murder, armed robbery, robbery, first-degree assault, second-degree assault, reckless endangerment, theft less than $100, and intent to injure with a dangerous weapon. The mouthful. On January 29th of 2012, the victim in this case was picked up in Baltimore City by Watson. He then drove the victim to the rear of the BJ's store located at 8139 Ritchie Highway in Glen Burnie. Once at the location, the victim and Watson exited the vehicle and started to walk into the woods behind the location when the victim was assaulted by Watson. The victim stated that Watson struck him numerous times about the head and body with a hammer. The victim also stated that during the time of the assault, Watson stole his cell phone. Watson's last known address is 500A Epping Forest Road in Annapolis. Our next subject is Shimon Vonzel Taylor. He's a 20-year-old African-American male, black hair, brown eyes, 5'7", 165 pounds. Taylor is wanted for violation of probation on his case of possession of a firearm. On August 4th of 2017, Taylor was found guilty of possession of a firearm by a minor. He was sentenced to 5 years in jail and placed on 5 years of supervised probation. In March of this year, Taylor was charged with committing a fourth-degree sex offense and a second-degree assault, which violated the terms of his probation. He's now a wanted man, and Mr. Taylor's last known address is 116 O'Berry Court in Annapolis. Out of the Western District of the county, our first subject is Charles Edward McFadden. He's a 30-year-old African-American male, brown hair, green eyes, 6 foot tall, 200 pounds. McFadden is wanted for violating probation on a prior conviction of illegally carrying a handgun. McFadden was charged by police on May 11th of 2018 with handgun charges, finding him in possession of 2 handguns during a call for service. He was convicted and received a 2-year sentence and was placed on 18 months of supervised probation. On January 22nd of 2019, a warrant was issued for McFadden for violation of probation. He was located in Wayne County, Pennsylvania, and extradited back to Maryland on that warrant on March of this year. McFadden was then released on Level 2 pretrial supervision on May 2nd of this year. McFadden failed to appear for violation of probation hearing on May 13th and was then given 48 hours to report to parole and probation, which of course he failed to do. McFadden's last known address is 7602 McCarran Court in Hanover. The next subject is Jamie Rosalie Hunt. She's a 31-year-old Caucasian female, blonde hair, brown eyes, 5'4", 140 pounds. Hunt is wanted for failing to appear in court for charges of resisting or interfering with arrest, having an open container of alcohol on a county road, and driving while intoxicated or impaired. Back on November 16th of 2018, county police stopped Hunt after she was observed driving in a dangerous and illegal manner on a county roadway. Hunt failed to appear for court in April of 2019, thus prompting her current status as a wanted offender. Her last known address is 2507 Vivaldi Lane in Gambrels. Our next subject is Tanisha Louise Yates. She's a 34-year-old African-American female, black hair, brown eyes, 5'3", 145 pounds. Yates has warrants for reckless endangerment, failure to appear for a second-degree assault case, and failure to comply with a court order. Yates was charged by county police for reckless endangerment and second-degree assault for family-related offenses. Yates failed to comply with pretrial conditions on her second-degree assault case in May of this year, and also failed to appear for a reckless endangerment case on June 10th of this year. Yates' last known address is 3573 Laurel Fort Meade Road, apartment 412 in Laurel. The next subject is Damian Earl Bowser. He's a 40-year-old African-American male, brown hair, brown eyes, 5'7", 200 pounds. Bowser has warrants for theft and unauthorized removal of property, for violating an ex parte protective order for CDS possession, not marijuana, and CDS possession of paraphernalia. Bowser has been charged in 2 separate criminal cases in the Meade Village community. During 2018, Bowser allegedly took his neighbor's vehicle without her permission, after she refused to give him a ride. He also violated a protective order. During the arrest, county police found suspected CDS crack cocaine on his person. During January of 2019, Bowser failed to appear for his court date. His last known address is 1748 Meade Village Circle, number 298 in Severn. Our next subject is Eve Crawford. She's a 40-year-old African-American female, blonde hair, brown eyes, 4'11", 145 pounds. Crawford has a warrant for failing to appear for a court case regarding a peace order that was issued against her. Crawford had court in September of 2018 for charges of failing to comply with a peace order. This case stemmed from an incident that occurred on April 19th of 2015 when Crawford was served a peace order and refused to leave the residence, which she was ordered by the court to vacate. She was arrested at the scene and then failed to appear for the court hearing. Crawford's last known address is 7896 Pavilion Drive in Severn. As we wrap up this month's On the Lookout, I want to again thank you for watching and for providing tips on the subjects we preview. As a reminder, if you know someone who is wanted by law enforcement or you recognize someone from the show, please call the Warrant Tip Line at 410-566-5688. As we wrap up this month's On the Lookout, I want to again thank you for watching and for providing tips on the subjects we preview. Always watch children around pools and waterways and keep them safe with proper flotation gear. Never leave unattended children, the elderly, or animals in a vehicle. And keep yourselves well hydrated to protect you from heat-related illness and injury. And of course, when it comes to people wanted on a warrant, always contact law enforcement to take action and make our communities safer. I'm Sheriff Jim Fredericks. Enjoy your summer, and I'll see you next month on the Lookout.